Hey guys, it's Seth, and in this video, I wanted to share with you just some perspective and some peace of mind in what appears to be very turbulent times. I wanted to just inspire you to stay focused on your goals and all the good things in the world. And I'm at a beach near where I'm staying here in Thailand. I just wanted to share the beauty of the ocean and just remind you that the world we live in is really a projection and a creation from our own minds. What I mean is that you have the power to create your reality based on what you think and how you feel and what you focus on. But we are also influenced by other human beings and the media. And right now, if you turn on the internet or the TV or talk to other people, you're going to hear a lot of negativity, a lot of maybe even fear or panic. And you may remember, even just 5 years ago, we had similar situations. And then a few years before that, where events are happening out in the world and people are reacting and it's triggering people's fears and insecurities and stuff is coming to the surface. And it's important to maintain perspective and understand that what you're hearing is a lot, you got to distill, like, what is the actual impact of what's happening versus people's fearful responses. And remember that places like this still exist, that the world is still a very good place, that you can actually enjoy your days and focus on your goals, guys, because especially when there's times of volatility, when there's times of uncertainty, it's when people make even more money, have even more success, have even more growth. And I just think it's important to remember that. And remember, if you look around, like, the crazy thing is, like, I like a lot of people, started watching more news in the last 6 months. And even as I was traveling around, I was in the US, I was in Japan, and then I was here. That's when a lot of my attention would go into the news. I'd be looking at YouTube or Instagram, TikTok. Well, I don't really look at TikTok, but I was looking at, this news story, that news story, talking to people about it. And then when you talk to other people about it and everyone's sharing their emotions and their reactions, then it gets more and more intense. And you forget about what's actually around you. Now, if you walk outside your house right now, look around. I guarantee you, unless you live on Wall Street or in the middle of an area that's just had a natural disaster, the area directly around you is pretty calm. In fact, hopefully there's some nature you can go to. Whether, you may not be near the ocean, but maybe there's a lake or even some trees. And if you listen, it's very quiet. It's very quiet where you are. Focus on that. Turn off the internet. Turn off the news. Stop focusing on it. I work in advertising. All my students work in advertising, and it's a great career path. But ultimately, what we're trying to do is get people's attention. And the reason that advertisers pay money for your attention is because it's so valuable. Your attention influencing how you think, to inspire you to buy a product or a service. This is very powerful. Your attention has value. So, I'm not saying never look at the internet again, of course, but do it mindfully and try to put the majority of your focus on your family, your friends, your goals, your mental health, your spiritual health, and appreciating what's actually right around you. Don't get too sucked into the illusion of the internet, even though I'm talking to you through the internet right now. Your focus and your attention is your most valuable gift. I also suggest taking up some form of meditation, especially during these difficult times. Meditation is kind of misunderstood by a lot of people, but the very basic essence is just sitting still in a quiet place and breathing and watching your thought process rather than being, ruled by it, rather than being run around by your mind. Some of us are so unaware of our thought process that you could say something. For instance, politics is a great example. Like, if you have a strong political view, someone could say, blah, 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 and it's something you don't that person doesn't agree with, that person will become emotionally triggered, dysregulated, we call it. Their heart rate will increase, and they'll completely lose focus on whatever they were focused on before that moment because of something someone else said. And that's because that person is not aware of their thought process, their emotional process. And this is happening all the time. We all have triggers, we all have emotions. Sitting still, especially in a natural place, and just breathing and focusing on your breath and becoming aware of your thoughts is very, very powerful. And if you get, now it's really great these days on YouTube, there's so many resources like how to meditate and how to relax and how to focus your energy on positive things. There's positive influencers. You know, they didn't have these things 20 years ago when I started doing personal development. You know, there's like one bookstore in New York City that had books about meditation or things like that. Now it's everywhere. So I would just suggest you take your time and your attention. Focus on stuff like this. The great thing about YouTube is like you can look at videos and listen to a stream, the sound of a stream in nature in the Amazon rainforest or something from wherever you are at your computer. You can get 4K aerial drone video of places like this, and it's a great practice. Like, put your attention on that. Put your attention on the huge, I mean, the ocean is so, like, it just blows my mind. I mean, we're in the Gulf of Thailand here, and I went to the marine park, which is like, I don't know, it's like a few hundred miles away from here. This is just the Gulf of Thailand, and it's so huge. This is a small body of water compared to the ocean. It's so huge. There's so much more beauty and peace and goodness and nourishment out there than what most of us are focusing on every day. You have that power. You really have a choice. What am I going to focus on today? And also acknowledge the pull of the kind of mainstream conversation, the media. It's all designed to pull you away from that peace, especially the news. And I worked in the news years ago, and I know, like, it's just like it's just an entertainment product. And there's a little bit of information in there, but it's mostly an entertainment product that is run by advertising, which is what, you know, our industry. But they want to get your attention. Everybody wants to get your attention. I even want to get your attention with whatever title I put on this video. If you get on YouTube, everybody wants your attention. That's okay, but be mindful with who you're giving your attention to and ask yourself, is this bringing me positivity? Is this bringing me peace? Is this bringing me closer to my goals, or is it taking me further away from my goals? One of the things I realized when I was watching the news, and I realized, like, I'm addicted to the adrenaline, to the dopamine, to the conflict, whatever it is. There's a addictive quality to the clickbaity stuff, and you do get a charge out of it. You know, you may feel excited or angry or just some type of stimulation. And it has a certain, you know, there's an entertainment quality to it. But afterwards, I'd say, wow, if I watch the news too much, man, I don't feel good afterwards. Notice how you feel after consuming something with your mind. It's really important. Like, we notice now, thankfully, we know that junk food isn't good for us. You know, she's like, I noticed that too. I used to eat candy. Like, I didn't smoke or drink, so I ate candy. That was my addiction. But then I noticed one day, I said, man, I feel sick every time I eat this candy. And I noticed that. And then when I went, wanted to eat candy the next time, I remembered how I felt after. So think about how you feel after you consume certain media. When your mind is focused on certain things, how do you feel afterwards? Do you feel empowered? Do you feel excited? Do you feel lit up? Do you feel appreciative? Do you feel like confident? Do you feel like, excited about your goals? And if so, great. But if not, focus on something else. And I tell my students about this a lot, because I say, look, man, if you're starting a digital marketing career, you're starting a business, you're starting a new fitness routine, a new relationship, anything that is worth doing and creating that is new requires focus, and it requires you to nourish it with your attention. And that's something worth focusing on. And these other things that you're focusing on might be distracting you from that. So you want to you need to stay focused, and you need to actually turn away from things that are not supporting your growth and things that are good for you. Anyway, on that note, I got a lot of sun. I'm just gonna kind of, I think I'll turn the this and just say, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you enjoy a little bit of beauty and peace in your day, let me know if you have any comments or questions, and I'll see you in the next video.